Well, good morning, everybody, and to the returning Montfort Knights, and returning parents too. It's so nice to see all of you, and I miss you all dearly, parents and students both. And to the newly initiated Montfort Knights, let me begin with something obvious, but also something that may have a little bit of a deeper meaning. You're not just a mind, right? You're not just a brain walking around connected to Wi-Fi. You were not born to blend in, nor were you ever made to coast. You are here because God wanted you in the world right now, not some other time, not some other place. You are a body, you are a soul, you are made of form and matter. You are all a living, walking miracle. And something very important to note is that your outside always reflects your inside. This is important because it reinforces the fact that how you dress matters, and how you carry yourself matters, right? Your words, your posture, your hair, your uniform, all of that matters. Remembering that you are all sacred. You are a creation of God, and you ought to keep order of yourself, because what does it say about you if you don't? When God created the world, He created trees, mountains, water, and animals. What do all these things have in common? They're all matter. They're all visible things of beauty. Then He made you, body and soul. Your visible body reveals something invisible, your soul. One of the clearest signs of truth, and we talk about this word truth a lot, one of the clearest signs of truth is order. Order. Even in science, when something is disordered, it's either broken or sick or dying, or something's wrong. When your room is chaos, usually your body is too. When God created the universe, He spoke order out of chaos. He separated the sea from the sky, the night from the day, the living from the dead, right? He formed all things with a purpose, pattern, and harmony. And creation all began with order, right? So we wear uniforms and require neatness not to erase your identity, but to remind you that your identity is not created through chaos. Neatness says, what does it say? It says, I'm paying attention. Clean shoes say, details matter. That's what it says. Okay? The way you dress tells the world what you believe about yourself without even saying a word. Dress like your time means something, because it does. And boy, does it go by fast. Comfort whispers, what's the least I could do? Remember, Mr. Edelson was saying how greatness is not comfortable. Comfort says, what's the least I can do, when dignity says, what's the best that I can offer? Now, the scary word that we all don't love, discipline. In our culture, we treat discipline like it's a punishment, but in the classical tradition, I actually didn't line this up, but it really works. Discipline is the path to greatness. Think about it. Discipline looks a lot like the word disciple, meaning the word student, as we probably know, right? To learn. Think about it. You can't play piano well until you learn scales. You can't write good poetry without learning proper grammar. And you can't be the best version of yourself until you learn to govern yourself. Dress code, neatness, grooming, language, these aren't random. They're small daily rituals, kind of like Saint Therese, right? The little details, little rituals that teach you to order the outside so you can strengthen your inside. Now you might wonder, why do you care if my shirt's untucked? Why does it matter if I say whatever under my breath? Does it really matter? It's just hair. It's just words, right? But here's the truth. Nothing is ever just anything. A sloppy shirt may seem like nothing, but it forms a habit. A sarcastic tone may seem like a joke, but it forms your character. The body and our use of it is the language of our soul. Every time you choose order over laziness, clarity over coolness, reverence over passivity, you grow. You stand a little taller. You sound more like someone the world can trust. And honestly, you become someone you're proud to be. In the church, right? This is why we kneel. When you come in, you kneel, you genuflect. Why? Because our external posture teaches or shows our internal reverence, right? The same is true in school, speech, clothing, talking to each other in the hallway, in prayer. You're always forming your soul whether you realize it or not. You don't come to school just to memorize things. You come to school to become the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself you can be. Why? To prepare for heaven. And who you're becoming is revealed in the little choices. Tucking in your shirt, grooming your hair, holding the door, using the right words, talking nicely about each other to other people. Not gossiping, but encouraging each other and speaking well about each other, because you're all brothers and sisters. Not literally, but as a community. That's what community is, religious or secular. You don't dress well to impress others. You dress well because you have dignity and virtue. You don't speak clearly to win points with friends or us faculty. You speak clearly because the truth beautifies your character. Because you're not here to blend in, as we've said. You're not. You're here to become all you can be and to get ready for heaven. What does your outward appearance say about your inward self? Ask that. Does it reveal self-respect, self-mastery, thoughtfulness? Or does it say you've forgotten who you are? Because this school doesn't exist to produce robots. It exists to form saints. And that means every choice matters, because you matter. And what you're becoming matters more than you know. The world tells you that freedom means doing whatever you want, right? And that's what it says. Freedom is do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel comfortable and happy. But that's not freedom. That's slavery to impulse. Real freedom is doing what's right with joy and consistency, even when it's hard. That's why discipline exists. Not to punish you, but to form you. We live in a world that praises chaos, but cries out for peace. And peace doesn't come from comfort, it comes from order. That's something in my personal life. Peace comes from order. Think about the most beautiful things in creation. Cathedrals, the constellations, saints. Why are all those things beautiful? Because they're ordered. The world will tell you, dress however you feel. Do whatever makes you feel good. But the problem is, feelings change. Dignity doesn't. The uniform doesn't make you a person of dignity. It reminds you that you already are. When you treat your appearance like it doesn't matter, eventually your actions follow. Your future doesn't begin someday. It doesn't begin with, I'll do this later. Once I get to college, then I'll start. It begins with how you enter a room. how you enter the room. So dress with dignity, speak with clarity, carry yourself with reverence, not because we're watching, but because you're becoming who you ought to be and who God knows you to be. You don't need to stand out, you need to stand tall. You're not here to impress us, you are here to impress heaven. So to all the new freshmen, welcome to Montfort. You're amazing. For-year journey begins today, and we can't wait to see who you become. That's everything.